Alright. Here today I'm interviewing Robert Black, who's the CEO of a housing organisation. And I'm just here to ask him a couple of questions because I'm doing an interview on someone who inspires me.
That's very kind, Cal. Very kind.
Thank you.
So I'm a chief exec. Manage 10,000 homes in Kensington and Chelsea, and we provide a housing management and repairs service. We have our own repairs company, and we have a turnover of about 65 million. And within that, I employ about 250 staff.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions today, which generally go around the guise of people who are just getting onto the job ladder. So my first question would be, if you give two pieces of advice to someone that's just starting out, what would they be?
Okay, I think that's really. I think one of the biggest things I'd say to anybody is be enthusiastic. You can't beat it. If you come across someone that's got enthusiasm, ideas and energy, it makes it much more interesting for the people who's going to employ them. And managing miserable people is miserable. So really, I like enthusiastic people. I think that comes across. The other thing I would say, when you work in a big company, it's hard to stand out, so volunteer for things. So if you get a chance to, put yourself forward, put yourself in a project, take a chance, nothing will happen. And even if it doesn't work out right, people will remember you. So that's what I think. I think that's what I did really well. I always took a chance to talk to the chief exec like you're doing today. And actually, you stand out from the crowd. And I think from where I sit in the organisation, I recognise those people and we want to know who they are, where they come from, where they're working.
Well, leading on from that, if we're talking about volunteer work, in your opinion as someone who actually employs people, how does volunteer work look for you?
I think it's really good because I think if you're trying to get into the workplace and you don't have that experience, then I realise that's really difficult for people to get on the shortlist. But I think if you've made the effort to look at different areas and try different things and use your time positively, then we will look at that and we'll be thinking, well, actually this person's really looked at our organisation, they've tried different things, they've come in and volunteered. And it also means I can maybe go and ask someone about how did that person work with them, how do they come across. So
like
really
a reference type thing.
And I think we try to encourage volunteers as well. So I think we recognise it's a way for young people to get into work and pick up that experience.
Right. Well, my second question would be, if you could go back right to the beginning of your job kind of cycle, what advice would you give yourself?
What advice would I give myself? It's almost contradicting something. I think sometimes you press on with your manager and you think you're doing all right. Maybe I would have sometimes, one or two times, it would have been better if I'd stopped and said, how do you think I'm doing? Am I on the right path? Am I doing this well? Because it's hard for managers, and actually it's hard to raise difficult subjects.
Well, I guess especially if you're managing quite a few people, it's hard to single someone out.
And I think if I did that, it might have helped the situation a couple of times. So that it shows awareness and thinking, and actually sometimes you're just not, they're not getting you. And so therefore it's good to ask for feedback. I think so. Therefore it comes down to it's good to ask for feedback. How am I doing? Do you think I've done a good job? Could have done it better? Can you give me some feedback? Yeah. And if you're asking for it, it's difficult for managers not to give you it.
So that's like when you put in a CV and you don't get through, and you can give them a call and ask them, well, what did you? What was the thing that didn't make you stand out? Yeah. What could I do maybe to?
And I think if you get an interview, not just your CV, but always although it's sad or disappointing when you don't get a job, phoning people up, talking to the consultant, if you're working with a consultant, it's really good because then that consultant gets to know you. They're thinking, well, actually, this person's enthusiastic
really trying to look for a job.
And you're trying to develop your character so they remember you. Because remember, they'll have hundreds of CVs and hundreds of people apply.
I used to work in recruitment, so I understand.
So I think that's the key thing, and that goes back to being enthusiastic and wanting to show the person that you can do a good job.
Alright, well, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Callum. I hope it goes well. I don't know about my bags under my eyes. You can cut that out.